Hi, my name's Nick, and this is my final project presentation. For my final project, I continued work on the project that I completed for the first class in this class series, and that's an application for taking notes after you take a dance class. I've taken dance classes for 5 years, and the use case that I address with that application is at the end of a class, usually you'll take a video of the stuff that you've learned, as well as some notes and maybe some other data like the instructor's names and the name of the class. Usually those are stored in separate applications and also a video. So after 5 years, it becomes very difficult to kind of correlate what notes belong to what videos and that kind of thing. So this just centralizes all that information into one place. Because I didn't work on this in the second class series, I did do some work that doesn't directly correlate to new topics in this class, but I'll mention it all anyway. So I implemented a content provider, so all data is stored in an SQLite database and accessed through a content provider. I implemented search functionality, which is backed by SQLite and FTS3. I implemented functionality to upload a lesson video as well as the data associated with that lesson to YouTube using the API Java client that they provide. I implemented this in an intent service to run in the background, and that service displays notifications through the notification manager to the end user. So here's my application, left foot. If I click on it, I'm going to create a new lesson and just enter in some basic information just to show that I'm actually storing stuff. Things are saved automatically when you move back to the list, and you can see it populate. Now I'll kill the application, and when I start it again, you'll see that I read everything back from the SQLite backend. Now I'll search for something, and you'll see the results. And I can click on it and open it. I can go back to my main screen. Now I'll open up a lesson and test the uploading capabilities. So here you have a lesson I created previously. I clicked the upload button in the upper right hand corner, and you can see the service started in the background and created a notification immediately. One problem I had is that the progress for the YouTube API was like really slow. It'll only show 75% and then done. So, and here you can see that it completed. So there you go. Now that I've uploaded the video, I can go to YouTube, and here you can see the video that I uploaded, which is just my dog. There you go. And you can see that there's some other information that I just kind of stuck in the About section and whatnot as well. If you took notes, then the notes should appear there as well, all that good stuff. Some things that worked well were the actual upload to YouTube was pretty easy once I figured out the nuts and bolts of authentication with OAuth. Also, implementing the backend service was fairly straightforward. I used an intent service, which just very easily handles queue-like work. There were a number of challenges during this implementation. One of the big ones was the Google account credential class doesn't provide a good way to pre-authorize an action. So I had to wait until I was actually doing an upload on a background service thread before I knew whether or not a user needed to click on a button in the UI to give their consent to perform a particular action. The documentation surrounding the YouTube API was very confusing because it was just difficult to understand what was needed to do around authentication. mainly because it depends on whether or not you're web, native Java, or Android, and also whether or not you're using credentials that are like your secret key or OAuth 2 type credentials. So that took a bit to figure out. And finally, doing search on SQLite was more difficult than expected, mainly because you have to use a virtual table to do that, and virtual tables don't support things like primary keys, so you have to jump through hoops to make sure things like list views work when you're feeding them in through a content provider. So if you have any questions or exclamations, I'll gladly respond in the online chat. Thank you.